A Woman's Job Guide 2. Chapter 1. A list of America's best employers for women at Forbes.com/best-employers-women. ABBV, drugs, and biotechnology. Accounting principles, professional services. Adobe, IT, Internet, software and services. Alaska Airlines, transportation and logistics. Alliance Data Systems, business services and supplies. American Electric Power, utilities. American Express, banking and financial services. AMN Healthcare, business services and supplies. Arlington Independent School District, education. AstraZeneca, drugs and biotechnology. Best Buy, retail and wholesale. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Massachusetts, insurance. BNSF Railway, transportation and logistics. Booz Allen Hamilton, professional services. Boston Scientific, healthcare equipment and services. Bristol Myers Squibb, drugs and biotechnology. Brunswick, engineering, manufacturing. Burns and McDonnell Engineering, construction, oil and gas operations, mining and chemicals. CarMax, retail and wholesale. Carter's, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Centerpoint Energy, utilities. Chico's Foz, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Cincinnati Children's, healthcare and social. Citigroup, banking and financial services. Coca-Cola, food, soft beverages, alcohol and tobacco. Condé Nast, media and advertising. Consumers Energy, utilities. Cracker Barrel Old Country Store, restaurants. Dell Technologies, semiconductors, electronics, electrical engineering, technology hardware and equipment. Deloitte, professional services. Designer Brands, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Douglas County School District, education. Duke University Health System, healthcare and social. Duke University, education. Educational Testing Service, business services and supplies. Fidelity Investments, banking and financial services. Florida Blue, insurance. Foot Locker, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Freeman, business services and supplies. Gap, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Genentech, drugs and biotechnology. General Mills, food, soft beverages, alcohol and tobacco. GoDaddy, IT, Internet, software and services. Hard Rock International, travel and leisure. Harvard University, education. Health Partners, healthcare and social. Hershey's, food, soft beverages, alcohol and tobacco. Hilton, travel and leisure. HP, semiconductors, electronics, electrical engineering, technology hardware and equipment. Huntington National Bank, banking and financial services. In-N-Out Burger, restaurants. Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, education. Intel, semiconductors, electronics, electrical engineering, technology hardware and equipment. Intercontinental Hotels Group, travel and leisure. Interpublic Group, IPG, media and advertising. Intuit, IT, Internet, software and services. Ivy Tech Community College, education. Jacobs, construction, oil and gas operations, mining and chemicals. James Madison University, education. Johnson & Johnson, drugs and biotechnology. J.P. Morgan Chase, banking and financial services. Kaiser Permanente, healthcare and social. Keller Williams Realty, business services and supplies. Kent State University Kent Campus, education. Kering, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Kiewit, construction, oil and gas operations, mining and chemicals. Lands' End, clothing, shoes, sports equipment. Leander Independent School District, Education. Legacy Health, Healthcare and Social. Levi Strauss & Co., Clothing, Shoes, Sports Equipment. M. Packaged Goods. Maricopa County Community College District, Education. Marriott International, Travel and Leisure. Mars, Food, Soft Beverages, Alcohol and Tobacco. Motel, Retail and Wholesale. Mayo Clinic, Healthcare and Social. Merck & Co., Drugs and Biotechnology. Methodist Lebanon Healthcare, Healthcare and Social. Montgomery County Public Schools, Education. Mosaic Life Care, Healthcare and Social. New York Life, Insurance. Northrop Grumman, Aerospace and Defense. Oregon Health and Science University, Education. PayPal, Banking and Financial Services. Penn Medicine, Healthcare and Social. Pfizer, Drugs and Biotechnology. Pitney Bowes, Transportation and Logistics. PPG, Construction, Oil and Gas Operations, Mining and Chemicals. Primerica, Insurance. Principal Financial Group, Banking and Financial Services. Progressive, Insurance. Quicken Loans, Banking and Financial Services. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, Restaurants. Ralph Lauren, Clothing, Shoes, Sports Equipment. Randstad, Business Services and Supplies. Raymond James Financial, Banking and Financial Services. Re/Max, Business Services and Supplies. REI, Clothing, Shoes, Sports Equipment. SAIC, Business Services and Supplies. Sally Beauty Holdings, Retail and Wholesale. SAP, IT, Internet, Software and Services. Sarasota Memorial Hospital, Healthcare and Social. SAS Institute, IT, Internet, Software and Services. Sephora, Retail and Wholesale. Siemens, Engineering, Manufacturing. Sony, Semiconductors, Electronics, Electrical Engineering, Technology Hardware and Equipment. Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, Education. Southwest Airlines, Transportation and Logistics. SSM Health, Healthcare and Social. Starbucks, Restaurants. Stitch Fix, Retail and Wholesale. Stryker, Healthcare Equipment and Services. SUNY, Stony Brook University, Education. Tampa General Hospital, Healthcare and Social. Tapestry, Clothing, Shoes, Sports Equipment. The Hartford, Insurance. The Estee Lauder Companies, Packaged Goods. The Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Healthcare and Social. Trader Joe's, Retail and Wholesale. Train Technologies, Engineering, Manufacturing. Tufts Health Plan, Insurance. UC Davis Health, Healthcare and Social. UCLA Health, Healthcare and Social. UF Health, Healthcare and Social. Ulta Beauty, Retail and Wholesale. Unilever, Packaged Goods. University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center, Healthcare and Social. University of Rochester Medical Center, Healthcare and Social. University of Wisconsin Hospitals and Clinics Authority, Healthcare and Social. University of Utah Healthcare, Healthcare and Social. University of Utah, Education. University of Texas, Austin, Education. University of California, Irvine, Education. University of California, Los Angeles, Education. University of California, Davis, Education. University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, Healthcare and Social. University of Kansas, Education. University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, Education. Unum, Insurance. Urban Outfitters, Clothing, Shoes, Sports Equipment. Verizon Communications, Telecommunications Services, cable supplier. Virginia Commonwealth University, education. Visa, banking and financial services. Warner Brothers. Entertainment, media and advertising. Wellstar Health System, healthcare and social. West Bend Mutual Insurance, insurance. Williams-Sonoma, retail and wholesale. Yale University, education. YMCA of the USA, healthcare and social. Zurich, North America, insurance. Chapter 2. Women's job websites. Women's business job websites. 1. There are many books that deal with women's issues and work, jobs, unequal pay, raising a family, harassment, etc., at hashtag 331.413-700, HD 6060.3 or HF 5382 at the library. Books about sexual harassment are at hashtag 331.409 or HD 6099. Because women are sometimes considered a minority, refer to the Minorities Resources section for more leads. socwomen.org/list-of-committees/career-development. TheDailyMuse.com. TheNewCareerist.com. AdvancingWomen.com. WITI.com. WomenForHire.com. WBI-I.com. Dead website. WomensJoblist.com. Womens-work.com. NACW.org. FEMIDI.net, Women's Careers Counseling. Womens-careers.info. Feminist.org/911/job/joblisting.asp. WomenForHire.com, Women for Hire, online recruiting site targeted at college-educated women. Also produces career fairs nationally. bucknell.edu/about-career-development-center/students/access-career-resources/women-students.html. AAUW.org, American Association of University Women. The American Association of University Women is a national organization that promotes education and equity for all women and girls. Fellowships, grants, awards, and jobs with AAUW are available. 85broads.com, 85 Broads, and a mentoring network for women. livecareer.com/women_career_resources.html, career and job resources for women job seekers and a collection of resources from quintessential careers. careerexposure.com/about_us.jsp, career exposure and women-owned recruitment services with focus on diversity. catalystwomen.org, Catalyst, and nonprofit corporate membership research and advisory organization working globally with businesses and the professions to build inclusive environments and expand opportunities for women and business. PLEN.org, Public Leadership Education Network and Washington, D.C. internships and seminars for women. WomenForHire.com, Women for Hire and a comprehensive array of recruitment services for women. myperfectresume.com/diverse.html #women, women's resources, and a collection of career resources on the Riley Guide. gemconsortium.org/about.aspx ? page !_special_topic_women, women, and entrepreneurship report. 9to5.org, 9to5 National Association of Working Women. AAAS.org/publications/books_reports/itw, Preparing Women and Minorities for the IT Workforce, The Role of Non-Traditional Educational Pathways, a 2005 study by the AAAS that examines the surprisingly large role that non-traditional educational pathways play in preparing women and underrepresented minorities for the information technology IT workforce. ABB.org, Home Business. ABWA.org, ABWA, American Business Women's Association. ABWA is dedicated to helping business women grow personally and professionally through leadership, education, networking support, and national recognition. ABWA.org, American Business Women. ABWA.Gwinnett.com, American Business Women's Association Gwinnett Chapter, Duluth, GA. ABWA.org, American Business Women's Association. abwhq.org, American Business Women's Association. abwiworld.com, American Business Women International. academic.org/work.html Facts about women and work. ace-net.sr.unh.edu/pub. adiasplace.com, Adias Place. adobe.com/products/acrobat/reads-tep2.html, Adobe Acrobat Reader. advancingwomen.com. advancingwomen.com, a skills-building organization supporting success in the workplace through strategy and mentoring. allbusiness.com. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women, site features women-oriented news and information about workplace strategies, career advancement, education, money management, women internationally, and more. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women. advancingwomen.com/acareer.html, Advancing Women's Career Center. advancingwomen.com/find-a-career. advancingwomen.com/workplace. advancingwomen.net, Advancing Women. aflcio.org/issues-politics/women, Working Women, part of the AFL-CIO Union's site. This segment includes much useful information and statistics about women in the U.S. Age Moment Oprah Stuff. abb.org. alef.org/ipc/ipf011705.asp, Today's Immigrant Woman Entrepreneur, a 2004 study that drive. alwib.org, Alabama Women in Business Birmingham, Al. mcham.org.eg/operations/committees/committees0506/women/women.asp. ameliahenry.com, business speaker. amwadoc.org. aniencameofheron.com. annuity.org/financial-literacy/women, women, and financial literacy. Site by annuity.org provides women-focused financial information on such topics as home ownership, wage-gender gap, divorce, retirement, and more. asbdc-us.org, Association of Small Business Development Centers. ashgate.com, book Women in Management Worldwide. asktheheadhunter.com/women3. astrozonia.com/women_career_04.shtml. aswe.org, Women Entrepreneurs. athenet.net/c-kane, Women in Business. athomothers.com. att.com/wib, 800-537-8700, Women in Business. Author D. Greenblatt. aucaustin.org, Association for Women in Computing/Austin. auc-hq.org, Association for Women in Computing. abusiness.com, Alberta Women Entrepreneurs. aud.org, American Women's Economic Development. aw-westmichigan.org, Alliance of Women Entrepreneurs. awibi.org, Asian Women in Business. godlybusinesswomen.com. awid.org/jobs, Association for Women's Rights in Development. awis.org, Association for Women in Science. awoman.org, Association of Women Professionals. awscpa.org, American Women. awsm.com, Advocates for Women in Science, Engineering, and Mathematics. babelsoft.com blog/index.php/workingmom/tips for a family-friendly work arrangement/ bankofamerica.com/community, loans. bellaonline.com. bcw.org, Black Career Women. bfwg.org.uk, British Federation of Women. bizjournals.com/bizwomen. binarygirl.com, Binary Girl. This website, where girls and technology click, aims to share knowledge with those interested in learning more about technology through an interactive community of women. bizwomen.com. busymoms.com. blds.ids.ac.uk/blds/guide/gender.html, British Library for Development Studies, Gender. Though this well-organized site does not provide documents, it does help you to identify what books, articles, etc. blog.womenforhire.com, bluesyouatmom.com, bluesyouatmom.com/career/worktips/intuition.html, bluesyouatmom.org, bpnusa.org, Business and Professional Women, bpwnewjersey.org, Business and Professional Women in New Jersey, bpwraleigh.org, Business and Professional Women/Raleigh, monthly meetings and other events, bpwtn.com, Tennessee Federation of Business and Professional Women, bpwtx.org, Business and Professional Women's Organization, Texas, bpwook.org.uk, Business and Professional Women UK, bpwusa.org, Business and Professional Women, bpwusa.org, Business and Professional Women, breaktheglassceiling.com, briefcasemoms.com, business.bostonherald.com/women's business, business.com/directory/transportation_and_logistics/airlines_and_aviation/organization/women, businessdesignstudio.com/resources/websites/women.html, businessweek.com/1996/38/B34931, balancingbusinessweek.com/tocs/womenbiz.html, businesswomensnetwork.org, Business and Professional Women's Network, Bismarck, ND, busygirl.com, Aurora Women's Network, bwni.com, Business Women's Network, c200.org, Business, cadvision.com/ffap/engender, womenscafemom.com, cancerancareers.org, information and support for women with cancer who are continuing their careers, career.com, capwise.com, women employed newsletter, careerbabe.com, careerbabe, careerbuilder.net, careerdiva.net, careergirls.org, careergirls. This website offers a number of video interviews with female role models in many different fields and from a number of ethnic and racial backgrounds. CareerJournal.com, Wall Street Journal executive career site. CareerOnestOp.org/reemployment/veteran/women-veterans.aspx, women veterans. CareerOptions.org. CareerOptions.org/careeroptions/English_index.htm, Career Options for Women. This Canadian website offers 13 half-hour programs highlighting women working in jobs traditionally held by men, primarily in trades and technology. CareerPlace.com. CareerPlace.com, Native Women's Association. careers.advancingwomen.com/home/index.cfm !site_ID =299, Advancing Women Career Center. Career Planning. Dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com/od/for women only/a/non-traditional.htm, work for women. Careerwise.asu.edu, ASU Careerwise, a site jointly sponsored by Arizona State University and the National Science Foundation to give women in STEM careers science, technology, engineering, mathematics resources and advice for dealing with issues such as facing a cold or isolating departmental climate, balancing career and personal demands, handling advisor issues, and/or staying motivated and productive despite delays and setbacks to research progress. CareerWomaninc.com. CareerWomen.com, Career Women. CatalystWomen.org, Catalyst. Catalyst is a non-profit organization working to advance women in business and the professions. CaterinaFake.com, blog. Copy.rutgers.edu, Center for American Women and Politics. cblpi.org/resources/speech.cfm?ID=22, women should refuse to choose between family and career. census.gov/release/www/releases/archives/facts_for_features_special_9383.html, Facts about women. In observance of Women's History Month in 2007, the United States Census Bureau put up this page of facts about women, covering topics such as population figures, motherhood, earnings, education, business, voting, jobs, military service, computer use, and sports and recreation. CenterForWomenInBusiness.ca, CFWBR.org, Center for Women's Business Research. ChamberOnline.co.uk, British Chambers of Commerce. Channel4.com/1efa/microsite/r/real-deal. Chefnet.com/women chefs, Women Chefs Resource Center site devoted to women chefs. CIPE.org, Center for International Private Enterprise. Clubmom.com, click on movers and shakers. Countmain.org. Count-me-in.org. Count-me-in.org, provides microloans of up to $10,000 to women entrepreneurs. Count-me-in.org, Women's Economic cs.wisc.edu/tilde-caravan/afl/home.html, math, and cs.yale.edu/home/tap, Women in Computer cs.yale.edu/html/yale/cs/highplans/tap/tap.html, cybergirl.com. cpsd.org, Commission on Professionals in Science and Technology. crewNetwork.org. csulb.edu/%sign7ESBSLUSS/women_and_business.html, buzzes links, women and business, high quality, annotated links to internet resources on women and business. cwip.org, Chicago Women in Publishing. cybergirl.com, cybergirl. dcwebwomen.org. debmcdonald.com/womenentrepreneurs.pdf. dell.com/download/corporate/press/200504119_ut_whitepaper.pdf, Women in a Global Workforce, this white paper by Prof. department.washington.edu/womenctr, UW Women's Center. digitaldivas.com. digital-women.com. digital-women.com, Digital Women, a site for women in business. Digital Women offers a newsletter, articles, tips, links to business and government resources, a bartering community, email lists, and an extensive assortment of links to women-related and other useful sites for women with their modems running. digital-women.com, grants and loans plus business networking. Diversity.com. Women's business job websites too. Womans-work.com, Woman's Work. Awoman.org, Association of Women Professionals. Informingwomen.com, Informing Women. Career Women. CareerWomen.net. Career-intelligence.com. Career-intelligence.com. Catalyst. Research and advisory organization to advance women in business. CatalystWomen.org. Chicago Women in Publishing. CWIP.org. Dress for Success. Provides career attire to low-income women seeking employment. DressForSuccess.org. European Women's Management Development Network. A network of women and men with the goal improving of the quality of management internationally. EUMD.org. Executive Women International, EWI. An international organization for business women. ExecutiveWomen.org. Federally Employed Women. FEW.org. Financial Women International. FWI.org. Institute for Women in Trades, Technology, and Science. iWits.com. International Gender and Trade Network. genderandtrade.net. Les Dames d'Escoffier International. Dedicated to supporting and promoting the achievements of women in the culinary professions. LDEI.org. National Association of Career Women, NACW. NACWonline.org. Online Loan Blog. Loanemos.com. Rockford Network. Women's professional business organization that encourages women to attain leadership roles. TricoMweb.com. Tuolumne County Women's Network. TCWomensNetwork.com. Women in Action. WomenInAction.org. Be4 Network. Networking for small business owners in New York area. Be4Network.com. Women in Packaging Inc. WomenInPackaging.org. Women in Business, Los Angeles. Wiblaw.org. American Association of Legal Nurse Consultants. AALNC.org. American Business Women's Association. ABWA.org. Association of Women Surgeons, AWS. WomenSurgeons.org. Crew Network. Crew Network, a professional women's commercial real estate organization of more than 5,700 members located in 51 cities nationwide and Canada. CrewNetwork.org. Financial Women International North Central District. FWIMidwest.org. International Network of Women Engineers and Scientists, INWES. Membership information and group goals. INWES.org. Jewish Foundation for Education of Women. Scholarship assistance for higher education to women with financial need and within a 50-mile radius of New York City. JFU.org. Ladies Group. Ladies Group is a unique group founded by Natasha Chilai for professional women in the Sacramento community. Ladiesgroup.com. Long Island Women's Agenda. LIWA's goal is to provide a balance of information in all matters pertaining to health and to address issues that affect women. LIWA.org. Michigan Women's Foundation. MeWF.org. MomJD.com. Online community for women who are mothers as well as lawyers, law students, legal staff, or thinking of a career in the legal profession. MomJD.com. National Association for Bilingual Education. NAVE.org. Professional Women Controllers Cyberwatch. PwC is an association of air traffic control specialists, men and women, who are working towards increasing the number of women in the occupation. PwCinc.org. The National Association for Female Executives. NAFE.com. Women Economic Developers of Long Island. Wedley.org. Women's Business Job Websites 3. AdvancingWomen.com. Association for Women in Sports Media. WomenSportsJobs.com/default.htm. Career Women. CareerWomen.com. Crew Network. CrewNetwork.org. DiversityZarch.com. Feminist Majority Foundation Online. Feminist.org/911/job/joblisting.asp. Financial Women International. FWI.org. JobDiva. JobDiva.com. Minnesota Women's Press. Women'sPress.com. National Association of Women in Construction. nawc.org/nawc/default.asp. National Association for Female Executives. nave.com/?service=v page/1474. Society of Women Engineers. societyofwomenengineers.swe.org. Society of Women Engineers. swe.org/careers/ads.htm. TaxMama. TaxMama.com. WebGirls International. WebGirls.com. WITI for Hire. jobs.witi4hire.com/home/index.cfm?site_id=273. Womans-work.com. womenforhire.com. Women's Wear Daily. wwd.com. dol.gov, look for seed programs. dol.gov/dole/audience/aud-women.htm dol.gov/dole/wb, Department of Labor dol.gov/dole/wb, Women's Bureau, United States Department of Labor dol.gov/dole/wb/non-tra.htm, Non-traditional occupations includes interviews of women employed in traditionally male occupations. dol.gov/dole/wb/public/wb_pub/20f95.htm, United States Department of Labor Women's Bureau dol.gov/wb dol.gov/wb, US Department of Labor Women's Bureau dol.gov/wb, US Department of Labor, Women's Bureau dol.gov/wb, Women's Bureau has dol.gov/wb/welcome.html, U.S. Department of Labor and Women's Bureau dol.gov/wb/welcome.html, Women's Bureau, u.comdivas.net, .comdivas.net, Resources for Women Internet Entrepreneurs. Elizabeth Carlisare offers advice about a number of issues of concern to women in business, especially internet entrepreneurs. .commommies.com. .diva.org/index.html, .diva, a site for young women interested in computing and in making a difference. EEOC.gov, Equal Employment Opportunity. ehow.com, how to help a displaced homemaker. EEOC.gov, U.S. Equal Employment and Opportunity Commission. ahome-basedbusiness.com. ldis.org/cf/search/disp.cfm?doc=doc 198882 resource =F1 gender, women's ICT-based enterprise for development, case studies page, a set of 12 analytical case studies of the women's IT sector enterprises in developing countries. ldis.org/gender/index.htm, Gender Resource Guide, from an international perspective. electra.com/ca-remain.html. embassy.org/wt, Women in International Trade. emeraldinsight.com/eoi.htm, Equal Opportunity. empowermeseminars.com, Black Career Women. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/nice_girls_don_t_get_the_corner_office. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/search/women and careers. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/working_women_in_Japan. Women's business job websites for engender.org.uk. eng.r.washington.edu/wise, UW Women in Science and Engineering, WISE. and-parent.com, Entrepreneurial Parent. Entrepreneur.com. entrepreneurswomenetworking.com. entreworld.org. eop.com, Equal Opportunity Pubs. equalitymagazines.com. equalitynow.org. europublic.com. everywoman.co.uk. eun-ct.org, Entrepreneurial Women's Network in Connecticut. eun-ct.org, Entrepreneurial Women's Network, Connecticut. eworkingwomen.com. ewowfax.com, Empowering Women. executivecareerinsights.com, Executive Career Insights. executivepie.com, Executive Pie. This site for women in business offers sections such as Women in the News, Bad Pie, Unacceptable Actions or Blatant Inequalities, abstracts of reports from Catalyst Research, proven practices, industry insights, bookshelf, job listings, and a number of other resources, some of which require that you register on the site. execwoman.com. eyf.com, Empowered Young Females. ezinarticles.com, Nice Girls Finish Last. familiesandwork.org. familiesandwork.org, Families and Work Institute. fastcompany.com/online/17/womentoring. fawcettsociety.org.uk. federalreserve.gov, free booklet A Guide to Business Credit for Women, Minorities, and Small Business. femalehome.org, formerly employed mothers at home. femina.com/femina/business and finance. femina.com. feminist.com. feminist.com/fairpay.htm, pay equity. feminist.com/resources/links/links_work.html. feminist.org/911/jobs/911jobs.asp. feminist.org/911/jobs/joblisting.asp. feminist.org/911/jobs/joblisting.asp. Feminist Career Center. feminist.org/911/jobs/joblisting.asp. Feminist Majority Foundation Online. feminist.org/gateway. feminist.org/research/eub_myths, empowering women in business. ffmarket.com, first for women. fleet.com, women's entrepreneurs connection. flexibleresources.com. flextime, telework and freelance opportunities. fmwf.com, financial male women's forum. focuswomensgroup.com. fodreams.com. fodreams.com, Field of Dreams, Women in Business. Deb Nyberg's site offers a variety of useful resources for women in business, including tips on advertising, marketing, and promotion, information about grants and loans, a businesswomen's internet research directory, web design services, links to political figures, a directory of women in business, and more. ForHerSuccess.com, operated by a Canadian firm, include a few US listings. Franchise.org. Freestate.net/match, Washington, D.C. network. FresHidayasEvents.com, fresh ideas supports female entrepreneurs and career women. Access to a network of trainers, friendshipandprosperity.org, Friendship and Prosperity Women's Club. FRSA.com/womenbiz. FTC.gov, Federal Trade Commission. Fulltimewoman.com. FWE.org, Forum for Women Entrepreneurs. Fundsnetservices.com/women.htm. FWA.org, Financial Women's Association. FWCchicago.com, Federation of Women Contractors. Gendertraining.com. Getamom.com, Job Placement Service. Getflexappeal.com. GEWN.org/index.html, Georgia Executive Women's Network, monthly meetings in Atlanta, GA. Girlgeeks.com. Girlgeeks.org, Girlgeeks.org, the original Girl Geeks organization and terrific website went belly up in 2001 in the wake of the U.S. Girlheadquarters.org, blog written for and by tween and teenage girls to foster positive discussion about what it is like to be a young woman today. Girlpower.gov. Girlsguidebusiness.com. Girlsinc.org. Girlswithgreatpotential.com. Womensjobsearch.net. Globalwomenstrike.net. glsconsulting.com/womensurvey/womensurvey1.htm, Women in the New Economy, Insights and Realities, results of a survey conducted in 2000 of 265 women working in new economy companies. goldensts.com, Women's Venture Capital. goldza.com/www/youngandrea. Grantsforwomen.org. collegescholarships.org/grants/women.htm. halfthskymovement.org, a movement to emancipate women and fight global poverty by unlocking women's power as economic catalysts. hardhatwomen.org/showtell.htm. hbwm.com, home-based working mums. hcgnet.com/html/articles/female-executives. Urbise.net, Business Women's Network. Urbise.net, Business Women's Network, meetings also in Middletown in Wilmington, DA. Herbusylife.com. Herplanet.com. Herwebeyes.com. herwebis.com/cyber_sisters_in_success.htm, hia.com/hia/wire, women in real estate, hibeam.com/doc/1G1-911562336.html, the women of oil industry, home.myra.net/lion/women.htm, the girls guide, frequently updated Australian site with interesting links in more than a dozen categories, such as business, feminism, health, sport, and books and writing. Home-based business opportunities guide.com/home-based business for women.php, homeworkingmom.com, hrc.org, the Human Rights Campaign, Human Resources, Dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com/od/work-life balance/a/business_women.htm, iawp.org, International Association of Women Police, ibizwomen.com, ibm.com/business center/a/women's, icrw.org, International Center for Research on Women, iGuide.com, Women's Careers, ilo.org/public/english/employment/gem/eeo/index.htm, e.quality at work, an information base on equal employment opportunities. This site, sponsored by the International Labour Organization, offers a factual, not analytical, compilation of available information on equal employment opportunities around the world. imdiversity.com/villages/woman, imdiversity.com/villages/woman/village_woman.asp, women's, inc.com/guide/women/index.html, inc.com/multimedia/slideshows/content/7-ways-to-smash-the-glass-ceiling.html, inc.com/multimedia/slideshows/content/how-with-work-with-not-kill-each-other.html, inc.com/resources/women, inc.com/resources/women/index.html. Included. InternetBasedMoms.com, IOJD.org, International Order of Jobs Daughters, an international fraternal organization for young Iowa women attorneys.org, Iowa Organization of Women Attorneys, IWF.org, Independent Women, iWits.com, National Institute for Women in Trades, Technology, and Science, Policing, iWits.com, National Institute for Women in Trades, Technology, and Science. The National Institute, formerly iWits, is dedicated to integrating women into non-traditional careers by providing training, technical assistance, and publications to schools and employers. iWits.com/html/womentechportal_home.html, Women Tech Portal, IWPR.org, Institute for Women's Policy Research, an independent, non-profit, scientific research organization that conducts and disseminates research on women's policy issues. IWPR.org, Institute for Women's Policy Research, JobDiva.com, jobs.love-to-know.com/free_job_training_for_women, jobs.womenforhire.com, jobs.womenforhire.com/texas/job search, women for hire, jobsforwomen.com, jobsandmoms.com, jobsandmoms.com, Jobs and Moms Career Center, Job Search, Dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com/cs/women's resources authenticwomanu.com, Job Search, Dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com/cs/women's resources/a/careerchange.htm, career change tools for the midlife woman, Job Search, Dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com/library/bellwomen.htm, once equals true and job searching resources for women, a resource-rich dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com site hosted by Alison Doyle. Jobsformoms.com. karenwood.com, negotiating corporate politics. Ladieswholaunch.com, connects successful women with other successful women. LoriDoctor.com. LeadershipAmerica.com. LeadingWomen.org, leading women entrepreneurs of the world. LeanIn.org. LeanIn.org, demand power. LegalMomentum.org, advancing women's rights. LevoLeague.com, an online social network designed for young professional women in the formative years of their career path. LevoLeague.com, LevoLeague. lib.msu.edu/harris23/grants/3women.htm. library.hbs.edu/hc/wes, Women, Enterprise, and Society, subtitled A Guide to Resources in the Business Manuscripts Collection at Baker Library. This site identifies materials in Harvard Business School's Baker Library that document women's participation in American business and culture from the 18th through the 20th century. Likemom.com, linkage.com/conferences/leadership/will, Women in Leadership Summit, littledidino.com, website that sells products, littlehouse.com. lucien.sims.berkeley.edu/women_in_it.html, mah.org, 800-783-4666, Mothers at Home. mainstreetmom.com. math.umd.edu/wim, Women in Mathematics. mbemag.com, mhbn.com. mentornet.net, National Electronic Industrial Mentoring Network for Women in Engineering and Science. microcreditsummit.org. milkeninstitute.org, milkeninsd.org. myth2.umd.edu/women's studies/gender issues/women in workforce. mnstate.edu/career/special_population/spec_pop_women's htm.htm. mochamanual.com, Mocha Manual offers lifestyle resources for Black mothers and business women alike. modernmommy.com. Women's business job websites 5. momjobseeker.com. momjobseeker.com/blog, momjobseeker.com blog. mommd.com, association, an online magazine for allopathic and osteopathic women in medicine. possiblewoman.com. mommyco.com. mompack.com, working moms dedicated to promoting each other's businesses online and offline. mompreneursonline.com. momscape.com. momsexpo.com. momshelpmoms.com. momsnetwork.com. momsonline.com. momsworkathomesite.com. momwork.com. money.guardian.co.uk/women and money. moneymakingmommy.com. m-oo.com, mother-owned and operated. morecommunityhouse.org/wincy/index.html, Women in Construction program that teaches low-income women construction skills. Mississippi. motheratwork.co.uk. motheratwork.co.uk/business. mothersandmore.org, info about flexible work. mothersmovement.org. mothersnature.com. mothersautoabeachuallrights.org. msfiscallyfit.com. msfiscallyfit.com/your_money/professional_woman/professional_woman.html. msmoney.com, msmoney.com, financial advice and resources for women. msu.edu/wmstdy/wsmjr1.htm, what you can do with a women's studies major. msvu.ca/cwb, women. nacw.org, 800-338-9267, National Association of Commissions for Women. nave.com, 800-634-NAVE, National Association for Female Executives. NAFE.com, National Association for Female Executives. NAFE.com, National Association for Female Executives. nap.edu/catalog/11741.html, Beyond Bias and Barriers, Fulfilling the Potential of Women in Academic Science and Engineering, a 2006 report from the National Academy of Sciences and affiliated academies. napequity.org, National Alliance for Partnership in Equity. nas.edu/CWSC, Women in Science and Engineering, National Research Council. nationalbusiness.org. Women's Business Job Websites 6. asdr.ua.edu/4000ws/4000ws.html, 4000 Years of Women in Science. 85broads.com, 85 Broads. abanet.org/women/home.html, ABBA Commission on Women in the Profession. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women. ani.org, Advertising Women of New York. aflcio.org/index.cfm, AFLCIO. allwomencount.net, All Women Count. aauw.org, American Association for University Women. abanet.org/women, American Bar Association, Commission on Women in the Profession. abwhq.org, American Business Women's Association. nursingworld.org, American Nurses Association. Ani and Camioofherown.com, An Income of Her Own. OC-HQ.org, Association for Women in Computing. am-math.org, Association for Women in Mathematics. acorn.org, Association of Community Organization for Reform Now, Acorn. core77.com/awd, Association of Women Industrial Designers. bcw.org, Black Career Women, BCW, Organization. bls.gov80, Bureau of Labor Statistics. bpwusa.org, Business and Professional Women USA. bpeace.com, Business Council for Peace. bwni.com, Business Women's Network. cco.caltech.edu/w Center, Caltech Women's Center. careerwomen.com, careerwomen.com. catalystwomen.org, Catalyst. ccw.org, Center for the Child Care Workforce, CCW. umich.edu, Center for the Education of Women, SU. umbc.edu/cwit, Center for Women and Information Technology. nfwbo.org, Center for Women's Business Research. cluw.org, Coalition of Labor Union Women. count-me-in.org, Count Me In for Women's Economic Independence. cyberworks.com 70/11/Dataline, Dataline's Glass Ceiling Newsletter. eeoc.gov, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. familiesandwork.org, Families and Work Institute. feminist.org/911/jobs/911jobs.asp, Feminist Majority Career Center. crux.asdr.ua.edu/4000ws/4000ws.html, 4000 Years of Women in Science. womenswire.com/work/go, Getting There. inc.com/resources/women, Inc. Magazine's Women in Business section. iwits.com, Institute for Women in Trades, Technology, and Science. witi.com, International Network of Women in Technology, WITI. nabo.org, National Association of Women Business Owners, NABO. nafe.com, National Association for Female Executives, NAFE. niw.org, National Association of Insurance Women. pay-equity.org, National Committee on Pay Equity. nwbl.com, National Women's Basketball League. nai.org, NAWE, Advancing Women in Higher Education. 9to5.org, 9to5, National Association of Working Women. now.org/issues/WFW, NOW's Women Friendly Workplace Campaign. sbaonline.sba.gov/women in business, SBA's Office of Women's Business Ownership. SWE.org, Society of Women Engineers. Monster.com, The Monster Board. dol.gov/wb/welcome.html, U.S. Department of Labor, Women's Bureau. quest.arc.nasa.gov/women/pow.html, Women in Careers Curriculum. wif.org, Women in Film. math.umd.edu/wim, Women in Mathematics. billyboy.ius.indiana.edu/women in philosophy/women in philo.html, Women in Philosophy. whiskfoundation.org, Women in Sports Careers Foundation. witi.org, Women in Technology International. witc.org, Women in the Director's Chair. wfsi.org, Women in the Fire Service. turbo.keen.edu/wistproj, Women into Science and Technology. quest.arc.nasa.gov/women/intro.html, Women of NASA. womenunlimited.org, Women Unlimited. womenentrepreneur.com, womenentrepreneur.com. wcr.org, Women's Council of Realtors. sbaonline.sba.gov/womeninbusiness/wnet.html, Women's Network for Entrepreneurial Training Mentoring Program. womenswire.com/work, Women's Wire Work Channel. aflcio.org/women, Working Women Working Together, AFL-CIO. worldwit.org, World Women in Technology. youngbpw-international.org/english/home.php, Young Business and Professional Women Organization International. zonta.org, Zonta International. Women's Business Job Website 7. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women, Business Strategy, Career Strategy, Job Search. iwt.org, Anita Borg Institute for Women and Technology. careerbabe.com, Career Babe. careerwomen.com, Career Women. nfwbo.org, Center for Women's Business Research. wixat.org/front_page, Gender and Science and Technology Association. iwits.com, National Institute for Women in Trades, Technology, and Science. now.org, National Organization for Women. thirdwavefoundation.org, Third Wave Foundation. dol.gov/wb, U.S. Department of Labor Women's Bureau. wowonline.org, Wider Opportunities for Women. witi.org, Women in Technology International. womenventure.org, Women Venture. womensjobsearch.net, Women's Job Search. workingwoman.com, Working Mother Magazine. nationalpartnership.org, National Partnership for Women and Families. nabo.com, National Association of Women Business Owners. nabo.org, 800-55 NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners. nabo.org, National Association of Women Business Owners. nabola.org, National Association of Women Business Owners in Los Angeles. nabonm.org, National Association of Women Business Owners of Northern New Mexico. nabostl.org, National Association of Women Business Owners, St. Louis, MO. NAE.org, Women in Education. nebraskapresswomen.org, Nebraska Press Women. netmedia.com/Kelsey. nawec.org, National Association of Women in Construction. networkingmoms.com. networkwomen.com, Business. newdirection.com/The Partnership. newmoon.com, a magazine and media organization that helps girls reach their full potential. newsonwomen.typepad.com, news about the accomplishment of women in business, education, arts, and sciences. newswomensclubnewyork.com, News Women's Club of New York, NYC. nfwbo.org, 202-638-3060, Women's Business Research. nfwbo.org, Center for Women's Business Research. njabo.org, New Jersey Association of Women Business Owners. workoptions.org, Work Options for Women, Denver, Co. Non-traditional occupations. now.org, National Organization for Women. now.org. nwbc.gov, National Women's Business Council. nwboc.org, National Women Business Owners Online View seen as s4u.net/home_based_business_for_women.asp. nwlc.org, National Women's Law Center, organization whose mission is to protect and advance the progress of women and girls at work, in school, and in virtually every aspect of their lives. nwsa.org/employ/wost.php, Jobs in Women's Studies. ocp.hul.harvard.edu/ww, Women Working, 1870 to 1930, prototype of Harvard University's Open Collections Program. Women Working. Online Bachelor Degree Programs.com/resources/resources-for-business women, Resources for Business Women, a useful collection of business resources, most of which are women-focused. Online WBC.gov, Business Ownership, Women. Online WBC.gov, Online Women's Business Center, site devoted to helping women start and run their own business. Online WBC.gov, Women's Business Center. Online WBC.org, Online Women's Business Center. Online WBC.org, Women's Business Center, a site designed to help women succeed in business. ontrackcoaching.com/women.htm. aubo.sba.gov, Office of Women's Business Ownership. owit.org, Organization of Women in International Trade. owit.org, the Organization of Women Owners. owl-national.org, Older Women's League. oxygen.com, Some Business Info. parentpreneurclub.com. parentswithoutpartners.org. parentwise.com. pawomenwork.org, Pennsylvania Women Work Support, Pittsburgh. pbwa.org, Professional Business Women's Association. pbwc.org, Professional Business Women of California. penelopetrunk.com, Brazen Careerist. people.mills.edu/sperta/job-search/job.html, tips for a massive academic job search. Computer science professor Ellen Spertus wrote this very useful document offering extensive advice about looking for an academic job, especially a search involving two people on the job market simultaneously. Women's Business Job Websites 8. phds.org, phds.org, Science, Math, and Engineering Career Resources. This site offers everything from basic information about careers in science, math, and engineering to how to choose a graduate school, issues concerning postdocs, the job market, finding a job in science, and more. philip.greenspan.com/careers/women-in-science. plcmc.org/bizlink/category2.asp?cat=4% cat ID=4%subc@113, Women and Minority Business Resources. pr.usm.edu/oolamain.html, Scholarship for rachelweb.com/options/map.htm, Options for Women. Research. Prevention.com, Woman's Edge. projectworkingmom.com. royalbank.com/SME, Women Business Owners. arsfunding.com, Book Directory of Financial Aids for Women. rwn.org, Rochester Women's Network. sa.psu.edu/cws, Center for Women Students. sba.gov/abouts/ba/sba program/online WBC, Women in Business Hot List. sba.gov/abouts/ba/sba program/online WBC, Women's Business Center. sba.gov/abouts/ba/sba program/online WBC, Women's Entrepreneurial Center. sba.gov/abouts/ba/sba program/online WBC/index.html. sba.gov/abouts/ba/sba program/online WHC/index.html, Small Business Administration Online Women's Business Center. sba.gov/advo/research/women.html. sba.gov/financing/special/women.html, Office of Women's Business Ownership. sba.gov/gc/women-owned.ppt. sba.gov/id/groups/public/document/sba_program_office/sba_wbc_ed.pdf. sba.gov/women-in-business. sba.gov/women-in-business/selling.html. sbaonline.sba.gov/financing/special/women.html, Office of Women's Business Ownership, sponsored by the U.S. Score.org/topics/women-entrepreneurs, SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives. scottishbusinesswomen.com/index.html, scottishbusinesswomen.com, exceptionally attractive, well-designed site to encourage Scottish women's interest in becoming entrepreneurs. searchmothers.com, Search Mothers, a portal offering links to information for single, divorced, married, and unmarried mothers. cjanework.com, business products. shesingenious.org. siliconzalley.com. simmons.edu/gsm, Center for Women, Leadership and Management, Simmons School of Management. sippingteabusinessnetwork.com. sistahspace.com, Black Women, Business Sistersinbiz.com, Sisters in Biz. smallbusiness.africansisters.com, Internet Business Women Interviews.com. snapmagazine.com, Business Women in Canada. Social issues related article written by springboard2000.org. Society of Women Engineers.swe.org, Society of Women Engineers. spot.colorado.edu/tilde_short-k/about.html, Why Shop? Week, organized by Women's Studies students at the U. Springboardenterprises.org, Springboard Enterprises. ssa.gov/women, Social Security Online for Women, U.S. Startupbiz.com. statusofwomen.ca.gov/default.asp, California Women's Commission. stepfam.org, Stepfamily Association of America. students.washington.edu/sway, UW Society of. sunnewsonline.com/webpages/features/women business. sunnewsonline.com/webpages/features/women business. surpassyourdreams.com. swe.org, Society of Women Engineers. swe.org, Women Engineers. swe.org/careers/ads.htm, Society of Women Engineers. swiftwork.com. tdfund.com, Telecommunication Development Funds Learning Center. teenvoices.com. the-bag-lady.co.uk, the Bag Lady Global Directory of Women in Business. thecybermom.com. thedabblingmom.com. thedailymuse.com, resource for women looking for information, advice, and tips on entrepreneurship and careers. theglassceiling.com. theglassceiling.com, discrimination, other business articles. theglassceiling.com/employment. theglasshammer.com, The Glass Hammer is an online community designed for women executives in financial services, law, and business. TheJoyOfConnecting.com, networking for women. TheNation.com/archive/details/1364560 These Modern Women, Why I Earn My Own Living. ThenETProject.org, New York State Project for Non-Traditional Employment and Training. ThenEUcareerist.com, help women in the early stages of their careers. The-office.com/women's-network Women's Network. ThuNC.org.uk, Women's National Commission. TheWomen'sAlliance.org, help women get skills TheWomen'sCompany.com. ThuRKFoundation.com. ThinkAndAsk.com/2006/102806-women.html, program for women business owners. 3-peaks.net, on equal pay for women. TAW.org, the International Alliance for Women. Tipscommunity.com/CMS, Tip $Midlife Women's Business Community. The website offers specialized help for women entrepreneurs in their late 40s and older who want to or who have just started a small business. TopWOMNOOK.com, network for successful UK women. TotalWoman.com. TotalWoman.com/career-perfect women's online magazine.com tryinwithcarol.com. TRSA.com/womenbiz. TWWork.com. uml.edu/centers/women-work, Center for Women and Work, sponsored by the university. UN.org/womenwatch, United Nations Women Watch. unix.umbc.edu/tilde-korenman/wmsd/links_bus.html, women's business/work websites. Unlimitedmom.com. uwwib.com, UW Undergraduate Women in Business, UWIB. Victoria.women.com. vocrehab.vermont.gov, Vocrehab Vermont. voiceofwomen.com, Voices of Women. ym.com, Work at Home Moms, homeym.forumwise.com/activity.php, Work at Home Mom Support Group. ymfest.org, 877-271-5218, Home Business. ympreneur.com. wai.org, Women in Aviation, International/ wal-mart.com, minority/women-owned suppliers. vavomenintrades.com, Women in Trades, Seattle, WA. wbdc.org, Women's Business Development Center. wbenc.org, Women's Business Enterprises National Council. wbis.biz, Women Building Investing in Success, Washington, D.C. wbninc.com, Women's Business Network Inc., Western Pennsylvania. wboc.ca, Women's Business Owners of Canada. wbone.org, Women Business Owners Network, New Hampshire and Vermont. webgirls.com. webeyes.women.or.kr. WeSeeWeb.org, the Women's Environmental Council, WEC, is a non-profit association of women professionals in various environmental fields. WEDC.org, Women's Enterprise Development. WayMidway.org, Women's Enterprise Institute. We-Inc.org, Women Entrepreneurs. Women's Business Job Websites 9. WellsFargo.com, Women's Loan Program. WenCentral.com. Wen-USA.com, Women's Entrepreneurial Network, Toledo. WEPR.org, Women Executives in Public Relations. wfan.org/women, Women, Food, and Agriculture Network Quarterly Meetings and Newsletters for Women Living on Farms. wfan.org/women, _food and agriculture network home.html, Women, Food, and Agriculture Network gewn.org/index.html, Georgia Executive Women's Network wgr.org, Women in Government Relations. wfn.com, Women's Financial Network WFN. A good deal of this site's financial information is not gender specific, but some of it does focus on women's circumstances. E.g., a financial checklist for expectant moms, the financial impact of being the second wife, women and wealth. WFSI.org, Women in the Fire Service. WholeWomen.com. WIA.unl.edu, Women in Agriculture, Nebraska. WIB-I.com, Women in Business and Industry. WichitaFallsBPW.com, Business and Professional Women's Club of Wichita Falls, TX. WICSA.org, Women in Communications, San Antonio, TX. WICT.org, Women in Cable and Telecommunications. WIFLE.com, Women in Federal Law Enforcement. WIHE.com/positionopenings.jsp, Women in Higher Education. WIMOnline.org, Women in Management. WinConference.net, Women's International Networking. WisdomCoachingForWomen.com, Coaching for Midlife Women in Transition. Wiser.Heinz.org, Women's Institute for a Secure Retirement. Wiser.Heinz.org/special_report_pay_equity.html, Women's Institute for a Secure Retirement. WITI.com, International Network of Women in Technology. WITI.com, Women in Technology International. WITI.com, Women in Technology International. WITI.com/index.php, WITI, Women in Technology International, now a customizable portal site for women in technology. WITI offers news, articles, career info, calendar of events, job announcements, profiles of accomplished women in IT, and more. WITI4hire.com. Womanowned.com. Womanowned.com, woman-owned. This site offers a variety of resources for women who own businesses or would like to, including articles offering advice and information about running a business, a directory of women business owners, a message board, and links to other resources. Womansown.com. Womans-work.com. Womans-work.com lists alternative and flexible opportunities for women, including part-time, work from home. WOMCOM.org, Association for Women in Computing/Dallas. Womans-work.com, Woman's Work. WOMCOM.org, Association for Women in Communicatons. Women Engineers, SWAY. Women. Women.aswe.org/ASWE, American Society of Women Entrepreneurs. Women.com. Women.com/career. Women.com/guide, Women's Wire. Women.com/index. Women.com/work. Women2.org, Women-Inequality-Unit.gov.uk. Women-21.gov, U.S. Department of Labor site for women entrepreneurs. Womenangels.net, Venture Capital, Washington, womenatwork.co.uk. Womenatwork1.org, Womenatwork1.org, Los Angeles. Womenatworkinc.com, Charleston, SC. Womenatworknewyork.com. WomenConnect.com. WomenConnect.com/localink/jobsee. WomenConnect.com/WCO/index. WomenEmployed.org/index.jsp, Women Employed. Women Employed self-described mission is to improve the economic status of women and remove barriers to economic equity. WomenEmployed.org/index.php?ID=39, Careers for Women in Information Technology. WomenEmployed.org/up_index.jsp?NAV_ID=2, Upgrade Your Future. Upgrade Your Future is a Chicago-based organization whose website focuses on providing women with information about IT careers and how and why to prepare for them. Women-employment.lt. Womenentrepreneur.com. Womenentrepreneur.com. Womenentrepreneur.com, Womenentrepreneur.com, This site, designed for the women's business community, offers original articles and success stories, content from 30 women columnists and bloggers, news and resources, and a forum where visitors can ask questions, share answers, and offer their own business insights. Womenforhire.com. Womenforhire.com. instruct.wcnet.org/KSDRNAD/career/non-trad.html, high-paying jobs for women. Womenforhire.com. Womenforhire.com. Womenforhire.com, career events for professional women, promoting networking and offering career coaching and other job search support for women. Womenforhire.com/employers/client_list.asp. Womeninc.com. Womenforhire.com includes work from home career information. Womenforwomen.org provides female survivors of war, civil strife and other conflicts with the tools and resources to move from crisis. WomenICTEnterprise.org, Women's ICT-based enterprise for development. The purpose of the Women's ICT-based Enterprise for Development project is to help increase the number of sustainable ICT-based enterprises run by groups of poor women in developing countries. Women-in-aviation.com, Women in Aviation Resource Center. Womeninbusinessnetworking.com, Dayton, O. Womeninc.org. Women's Business Job Websites 10. Womeninconsulting.org. womeningovernment.org. Womeninprogress.org. Womenlobby.org, European Women's Lobby. Womenmarketing.com. Womenov.com. Women-online.com. Womenoenthylene.org, Union, Labor. Women-outdoors.org. Womenpresidentsorg.com, Business Owners. Womensbizchronicle.com. Womensbusinesscenter.org, where women want to work.com. Womensbusinesscenter.org. Womensbusinessgrants.com. Womensbusinessresearch.org. Womensbusinessresearch.org, Center for Women's Business Research. The site offers information and statistics on women business owners and their enterprises worldwide. WomenCenterSemi.org, Women's Center of Southeastern Michigan, Ann Arbor, Me. WomensDigest.net. WomensFinance.com. WomensForum.com. WomensGrowthCapital.com. WomensInitiative.org, Women's Initiative for Self-Employment, training for low-income women to start their own businesses. WomensJoblist.com. Womenswork.org/girls/careers.html. WomensJoblist.com, a free job board for women. WomensJoblist.com, Women's Job List. WomensLifeIns.com, Women's Life Insurance Society. WomensMedia.com. WomensNet.net. WomensNet.net. WomensPace.org/careerresources.htm. WomenSportsJobs.com, Association for Women in Sports Media. WomensPress.com, Minnesota Women's Press. WomensResumeList.com. WomensSportsJobs.com, Women's Sports Jobs. WomensVentureRefund.org, Money for Business. WomensWallStreet.com. WomensWire.com/livinglarge/job, WomensWire. WomensWire.com/work. WomensWallStreet.com, Women's Wall Street, financial information focused on women's interests and needs. WomensWebMagazine.com, Women's Web. WomensWire.com/work/work.html. WomensWork.org. WomensWork.org/girls/careers.html. WomensWork.org/girls/careers.html. Women's Professions. WomensWorkstation.com. WomenTodayMagazine.com. WomenTechWorld.org, Women Tech World. Women Tech World describes itself as the online home for women technicians to connect with one another. WomenTechWorld.org/ementoring.htm, Women Tech World e-mentoring. Women-unlimited.com. WomenVenture.org, St. Paul, M. Boston Women's Network.org, Boston Women's Network. Womenwork.org. Womenwork.org, Displaced Homeworker womenwork.org, National Network for Women's Employment. Womenwork.org, the National Network for Women's Employment. Womenwork.org, Women Work. Womenworkandcommunity.org/wesses/womenbusiness.html. Womenworking.com, Women Working. Womenworking2000.com. Workforwomen.org. Workforwomen.org, Work for Women. Workforwomen.org, Work for Women. Workathomegigs.com. Workerette.com, Workerette. Workfamily.com. Workingmother.com. Workingwoman.com. Workingwoman.org. Workingwomanmag.com. Workingwomenplus.com. Workplacediversity.com, profiles of employers, news, and information targeted to various diverse audiences and information on associations and organizations supporting and promoting minority and diversity interests. Workplacesolutians.org. Worldwomen.net. w-o-w.org, wowonline.org, widerwred.org. wowonline.org, wider opportunities for women wiserwomen.org. wowonline.org/training-technical-assistance. WOW is based in Washington, D.C. and offers career development programs specifically for women. wows.db.com, Women on Wall Street. wowwomen.com, Women Online Worldwide. wrei.org/military/index.html, Women in the Military Women's Research and Education Institute. wrei.org/military/women_veterans/index.html, Women Veterans. wsworkshop.org/program/internships, Women's Studio Workshop. wtn.ca, Women's Television Network. wwd.com, Women's Wear Daily. wwe.org, Wisconsin Women Entrepreneurs. wwol.inre.asu.edu, Women Artists. wwork.com. wwork.com, Women's Work. wwork.com, Women's Work. wwork.com, womenswork.com. www.2wk.com, Where Women Want to Work. www.women.com. www.women.com, Search Engine. wxnetwork.com, Women's Executive Network. wypowers.com, Women's Yellow Pages. youngpeoplefer.com, National Leadership Development Program for Progressive Young People. youronramp.com, focusing on career women trying to balance work and a personal life. ywca-troy.org. zonta.org, Zonta International. aminamiracle.org. Women's Business Job Websites 11. feminist.org, Feminist Majority Foundation Online. jaws.org, Journalism and Women Symposium. webgirls.com, Webgirls International Job Bank. witi4hire.com/candidates, Women in Technology International. getreadyforcollege.org. gpslifeplan.org, Minnesota State Colleges and Universities System. iseek.org, iSeek Solutions College and Career Decisions, iSeek. Women's and Gender Studies Job Websites. wgsb.georgetown.edu, Women's and Gender Studies Program at Georgetown University. feminist.org, Feminist Majority Foundation Career Center. feminist.com, feminist.com. girlscouts.org, Girl Scouts USA. glsn.org, Gilson, Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network. idealist.org, Idealist. forwomen.org, MS. Foundation. narael.org, Narrow Pro-Choice America. now.org, National Organization for Women. pflag.org, Flag, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. plannedparenthood.org, Planned Parenthood. usajob.gov, USA Job, see the federal government's official jobs site. womenshealth.gov, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office on Women's Health. nwsa.org, National Women's Studies Association. iwpr.org, the Institute for Women's Policy Research. icrw.org, the International Center for Research on Women, ICRW. wgsb.georgetown.edu, Women's and Gender Studies Program. Chapter 2. Lists of women's job websites from FeedSpot. A list of career woman websites and blogs at blog.feedspot.com/career_woman_blogs. blog.feedspot.com/women_empowerment_blogs. blog.feedspot.com/UK_women_in_business_blogs. blog.feedspot.com/women_in_business_blogs. career-mums.co.uk/blog. careercontessa.com/advice. careergirldaily.com. careermastered.com/career-mastered-magazine. carolineadamscoaching.com. carolparkerwalsh.com/blog. classycareergirl.com/blog. corporatecareergirl.com. drmonichuecjohnson.com/news-updates. ericaspradley.com/blog. imbacotwork.com/tips. jenswiss.com. kathycaprino.com/blog. marunoke.com/articles. mscarergirl.com. phenomenalimage.com/blog. strongfemaleleaders.com. theglasshammer.com. womenforhire.com. yourcareergirl.com/blog. A list of career women podcasts at blog.feedspot.com/career_minded_and_working_women_podcasts. womenreallymeanbusiness.com/category/podcast. 2bebolder.com/podcasts. ambitiousentrepreneur-network.com/women-in-leadership-podcast-with-Anne-Marie-Cross. anchor.fm/workforce-womenpc. anchor.fm/nova-talent. anchor.fm/career-happiness. anchor.fm/women's-energy-council. anchor.fm/sexybossbabe. anchor.fm/wethywomenmedia. anchor.fm/careerchangepro. behindcloseddoors.com/women-on-the-move-podcast. bizchicks.com/category/team. bossedup.simplecast.com/episodes. breakingbarriers.podbean.com. buzzsprout.com/1529273. buzzsprout.com/1387072. buzzsprout.com/1633960. careerchasers.libzn.com/website. careercontessa.com/podcast. charitaweatherspoon.com/podcast. christinewong.me/category/blog/podcast. classycareergirl.libzn.com. conferencesforwomen.org/podcast. drmonichuecjohnson.com/podcast. dynamicwomen.libzn.com/website. effectivecommunicationskills.libzn.com. lv8network.com/podcasts. empoweringwomeninindustry.com/podcast. feeds.buzzsprout.com/9765222. feeds.buzzsprout.com/660247. foundedbywomen.com/podcast. girlboss.com/radio. girlsgoneboss.simplecast.com. girlsinwork.com/the-podcast. greenconnectionsradio.libzn.com. g7.live/shiftinggears/podcast. haviazitconversations.com/episodes. hbr.org/2018/01/podcast-women-at-work. manifestyourcareer.com/podcast. npwpodcast.libzn.com. omney.fm/shows/sisterhood-works. ordinarily-extraordinary.com/blog-2. play.acast.com/s/women-making-waves. pod.co/the-art-of-living-now. podcasts.bcast.fm/her-career-ladder. podtail.com/n/podcast/the-female-career-trailblazing-new-Zealand-women-s. rising-tide.simplecast.com. rss.com/podcast/women-career-and-life. shows.acast.com/girls-in-work. sidehustlepro.co/podcast-episodes. soundcloud.com/coffee-break-New York WICI. sbreaker.com/show/next-women-in-media. sbreaker.com/show/erica-spradleys-show. sbreaker.com/show/success-for-women. sbreaker.com/show/switch-pivot-or-quit-career-switch-perso. stlouisfed.org/timely-topics/women-in-economics. stylyourmind.libzn.com. thecorporatesister.com/tcs-podcast. theskim.com/skimmd-from-the-couch. TomyYoungRME.libzn.com. TonyCollis.com/leadingwomenintech. uplevelcoaching.org/blog. womeninnovation.co/podcast. womeninsales.libzn.com/website. womenleaders.libzn.com/website. womenoffshore.org/women-offshore-podcast. womenreturners.com/returners/career-returners-podcast. womensleadershipsuccess.com. womenwithcooljobs.com/podcast. A list of working mom websites at blog.feedspot.com/working_mom_blogs. 247modernmom.com. amotherandmomblog.com. amydavidson.com. balancingtoday.com/blog. bestforthemament.com. blondemomblog.com. busyworkingmama.com. shatansworld.com. chiefmomofficer.org. coffeechaosdryshampoo.com. corporatemoms.com. doytallworkingmom.com. fabworkingmomlife.com. fitmommystrong.com. foundingmoms.com/blog. freshlybrewedmama.com. guideformoms.com. guiltymother.co.uk. hansonworkingmom.com. heymama.co. genvtcourse.wordpress.com. queenb.co.za. lifeanddmo.com. littlemissblog.com. mamafurfur.com. momapreneur.blog. mamachefjosie.com. mindfulreturn.com/blog. mmbmagazine.co.uk. modernmommy.com. mommakingmemories.com. mommyhastowork.com. mommyshorts.com. mompowerment.com/home-page/blog. momtalk.co.za. motherwhoworks.blogspot.com. mrsmommymd.com. mumaandcareer.co.uk. myfurandmore.com. niza.wordpress.com. Not much fun for a working mom.blogspot.com. officemom.ie. outsidetheboxmom.com. parentlightly.com. peanutgallery247.com. realhappymom.com. scarymommy.com/category/parenting/working-mom. she's a workingmom.co.uk/blog. smartmoneymamas.com. sweetandsimplelife.com, teachworkoutlove.com, thebloomingjacks.com, thefreemama.com, thehappywahm.com, themomatlaw.com, theprofessionalmomproject.com, theswampmama.com, thewisehalf.com, todayswarkathomom.com, withlovebecca.com, womonetwork.com/blog, womonetwork.com/blog, workathomums.com.au/topics/work-at-home, workingmomsbalance.com/blog, workingmomsword.com, workingmother.com, workingmums.co.uk/news-and-views, workingparentsconnect.com.au/newsroom, blog.feedspot.com/working_mom_RSS_feeds. A list of Working Mom podcasts from blog.feedspot.com/working_mom_podcasts. Anchor.fm/black-mom-working. Balancedworkingmoms.com/podcast. Having-it-all.ridevango.com. Intentionalproductivitypodcast.podbean.com. mommyfaceted.com/category/podcast. momremix.com/working-moms-who-side-hustle-podcast. nikkigingrich.com/podcast. shiastartsup.libzn.com. sbreaker.com/show/the-balanced-lives-show. workingmom.site/podcast. workhardmomhard.libzn.com. workingchristianmom.com/blog. workingchristianmom.libzn.com. yourliferux.com/podcast/v=7516FD438. yourliferux.libzn.com. A list career woman articles and websites from feedspot.com/news/career_woman. Classy Career Girl. classycareergirl.com. Ms. Career Girl. mscareergirl.com. Leadership Trainer. kathycaprino.com. Job search site for women. careercontessa.com. Reddit, Career Women. reddit.com. The Glass Shammer. theglassshammer.com. Strong Female Leaders. strongfemaleleaders.com. Corporate Career Girl blog. corporatecareergirl.com. Chapter 4. Women's work websites from dmoz-odp.org/society/people/women/issues/work. Women's career websites. mscareergirl.com, Ms. Career Girl, career building tips, motivational advice. askmen.com/money/career/16_career.html, askmen.com, women in the workplace, men dealing with women in the workplace. eoc.org, Euro-American Women's Council, attempts to aid women business owners and executives by building alliances between the private sector and government while providing groundbreaking research to document the economic and social contributions of women-owned firms. angelfire.com/me3/thoughts/index12.html, Mysterious Woman, Discrimination in the Workplace, a place for women to meet other women that are and have been discriminated against while at work. Sexual harassment websites. citizenactiony.org, Women's Rights at Work, serves women who have experienced sexual harassment at work in the New York area. eeoc.gov/facts/fs-sex.html, facts about sexual harassment, learn more about the form of sex discrimination that violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. janedoe.org, Jane Doe Inc. Work and family websites. bellaonline.com/site/work and family at bellaonline.com, get free information and interactive community to help you balance work and family issues, whether you have a career, start a business, or stay home while your kids are young. burgerinstitute.org, Burger Institute for Work, Family, and Children, advances knowledge about the complex interactions between work and family through education and research. bluesyouatmom.com, bluesyouatmom.com, bluesyouatmom.com features tailored content to meet executive mothers' needs for work and family balance. Collister.co.nz, Collister and Associates, New Zealand research website. Resources-on-call.com, Resources on Call, ROC, service improves workplace productivity and work-life balance by finding the resources your employees need to quickly complete personal tasks typically handled during work hours. Workfamily.com, Work and Family Connection, clearinghouse of information about work-life issues and practices for human resource professionals. Work organization websites. ALP.org, the Alliance of Work/Life Professionals, a membership organization with the mission of promoting work/family and personal life balance. Familiesandwork.org, Families and Work Institute, nonprofit research organization that addresses the changing nature of work and family life. Nationalpartnership.org, the National Partnership for Women and Families, promotes fairness in the workplace, quality health care and policies that help women and men meet the dual demands of work and family. wfnetwork.bc.edu, Sloan Work and Family Research Network. The purpose of the Sloan Work and Family Research Network is to offer various types of work-family resources and provide useful and timely work-family information. Workingfamilies.org.uk, Working Families, campaigning charity supporting and giving voice to working parents and carers and helping employers create workplaces that encourage work-life balance for everyone. Working Women websites. angelfire.com/country/angelmom/index.html, Diary of a Working Woman in the South, Diary of a Southern Working Woman in a Male-Dominant Occupation. Working Women Community Center, official site. WorkingWomencc.org. 533A Gladstone Avenue, Toronto. Support and coaching from inspirational business women. WomenWorking.com. Women in the Workforce, Wikipedia. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/women_in_the_workforce. Essay, Working Women and Family Life, Schoolwork Helper. Schoolworkhelper.net. Working Women Essays, IELTSBuddy. IELTSBuddy.com/working-women-essays.html. Working Ontario Women. actwow.ca. Working Mother, official site. WorkingMother.com. Working Mothers websites. AmericanBaby.com/home/maternity-leave.html, maternity leave, expert advice to help you plan ahead for your maternity leave. Breastfeeding.com/workingmom.shtml, breastfeeding.com, the Working Mom, news and information for working moms, including breast pump info, dealing with the boss and milk storage. Momsrefuge.com, Working Moms Refuge, supportive parent and women's community featuring discussion and advice from both experts and working mothers. Muji.com/n, Field of Muji, free internet membership website for present, future, and past working mothers and other women willing to support working mothers. nrgcoaching.com, NRG Coaching Associates, solutions for overstressed, overtired, overworked moms by coach/author/speaker Natalie Garman. Pseudosupermom.blogspot.com, Pseudosupermom, humorous weblog of a working mother. Workingmother.com, workingmother.com, online version of Working Mother magazine which covers work and life issues important to career-committed mothers. MOPS.org, Mothers of Preschoolers, MOPS, international support network of women who share the common bond of preschool-age children. SBPEP.org, Postpartum Education for Parents, PEP. PEP is a non-profit, all-volunteer corporation staffed entirely by trained parent volunteers providing information and support for parents of newborns, especially mothers. theptonsite.com/takeaction/452154813, help mothers who are wrongly accused of child abuse, a petition to reform the U.S. legal system to protect mothers who have been wrongly accused by child abuse. Workplace child care websites. BrightHorizons.com, Bright Horizons, provider of worksite childcare, early education, and work-life consulting services. e-dependentcare.net, dependent care and work/life, providing dependent care, child/elder, work-family benefits and employee assistance programs to corporate employees. ParentsInAPinch.com, Parents in a Pinch. Childcareaware.org/n/child_care_101/5steps.php, choosing quality care, 5 steps. flchild.com/how to find childcare site/html, choosing quality childcare. childrensdefense.org/site/pages over $?research_publications_caregiver_guides, childcare basics. childcareaware.org/n/tools/glossary, childcare glossary. nncc.org/state/stateindex.html, childcare resources by state. childcareresearch.org, childcare research connections. nccic.acf.hhs.gov, National Child Care Information Center. nccic.org/itcc, National Infant and Toddler Child Care Initiative. ed.gov/nclb/landing.jhtml, No Child Left Behind resources. nccic.org/statedata/dirs/statehp.html, State Child Care homepages. naec.org/academy/search, accredited child care providers. nafcc.org/accreditation/accreditation.asp, accreditation information and application. unicef.org/wsc/plan.htm, action plan for protection and development of children. afterschoolalliance.org, After School Alliance. brightfutures.org, Bright Futures, Health Promotion Initiative. nrc.uc.edu/resources/buildingblocks.pdf, Building Blocks, Child Care Professionals Tool. nrc.uc.edu/spinoff/csn/csn.htm, Caring for Special Needs Children Standards. clasp.org, Child Care and Early Education Publications. acf.hhs.gov/program/ccb, Child Care Bureau, Federal Funding Resources. childcareaware.org/n/parent_information/licensing, Child Care Licensing. childcareaware.org/n/tools/child_care_finder, Child Care Resource and Referral Organizations. opm.gov/employment_and_benefits/work-life/official documents/handbooks/guides/child care resources/cchb 500.asp, Child Care Resource Handbook. ctb.ku.edu/n, Community Toolbox, Help in Promoting Health and Development. cdacouncil.org, Council for Professional Recognition, Licensing. acf.hhs.gov, Early Childhood Workforce. ncsl.org/program/educ/edu.htm, Early Education, State Legislation. nccic.org/poptopics/east_structure.html, e-State Governance Structure. childcareaware.org/n/child_care_101/evaluating_providers.php, Evaluating a Child Care Provider. foundationcenter.org, Foundation Center, Helping Grant Seekers Succeed. afterschool.org/home, Funding an After-School Program. ncfy.com/yd, Funding for Youth Services Providers. whitehouse.gov/infocus/early childhood/sec3.html, Funding for Early Childhood Care Initiative. ed.gov/search results.jhtml?CT=1188112872%CL=1, Funding Resources, USTO. Resources for childcaring.org. whitehouse.gov/infocus/early childhood/toc.html, Good Start Grow Smart, Early Childhood Initiative. eclkc.ohs.acf.hhs.gov/hslc/program designandman agim nt/Head Start requirements/Head Start requirements, Head Start performance standards and regulations. headstartinfo.org/pdf/hcenterdesign-guide.pdf, Head Start Center Design Guide. headstartinfo.org/infocenter/as_tkit1.htm, Head Start Toolkit. nrc.uc.edu/cfoc, Health and Safety in Child Care, Standards. carbon.cu denver.edu/mwriter/itc_data/id models.html, Instructional Design Models. glossary.plasmalink.com/glossary.html, Instructional Strategy Summaries. clasp.org/publication/meeting_rpt.pdf, Integrating Standards in Child Care. nrc.uc.edu, National Resource Center for Health and Safety in Child Care. pacoda.com/secure/data/022/chapter53/chap53toc.html, Nursery and Preschools, PACODE. cyberstartpa.info, Pennsylvania Partnership for Children. uni.edu/playground, Playground Safety, National Center. snrc.org/information resources/resource articles/ft setup.htm, Setup Suggestions for Early Head Start Program. Workplace Discrimination Websites. afjustice.com, Abercrombie discrimination lawsuit, alleges that the firm discriminates against Latinos, Asian Americans, and African Americans in order to create the Abercrombie & Fitch look. and.org.au, Australian Network on Disability, a disability employment support organisation promoting and assisting businesses that encourage people with a disability as employees and customers. cohenmilstein.com/case-study/wal-mart, Walmart class, sex discrimination lawsuit alleging denial of advancement and training, lower wages, sexually hostile work environment and retaliation. discriminationiswrong.com, Fagan & Fagan, San Diego-based firm specializes in discrimination law, including that based on race or against families with children. FaceIntel.com, FaceIntel, former and current employees alleging discriminatory and predatory employment practices. gogood.com/once_deck/index.htm, Compact's treatment of disabled employees, presents factual data on Compact terminating disabled employees despite their written employment documentation. heather.csdavis.edu/wel.html, Norm Motloff's frequently accessed writings, articles on issues involving minorities and age discrimination, touching on immigration, affirmative action, and Silicon Valley hiring practices. kamalzaina.com/Mitsubishi, Mitsubishi racial discrimination lawsuit, claims that there is more to this event that took place in Japan than meets the eye. Los-ilk.org, Legal Aid Society, Employment Law Center, works in litigation, direct services, and legislative advocacy areas to help low-income and minority workers. law.cornell.edu/wex/employment_discrimination, LEI, Law about Employment Discrimination, an overview of employment discrimination law with links to key primary and secondary sources. religiostolerance.org/hom_EMPL2.htm, ENDA, Essay on Employment Non-Discrimination Act's Origin, Support, Opposition, and Recent Developments. Age discrimination websites. leescarrier.com/roberts_ageism.htm, leescarrier.com, Combating Ageism, Lessons Learned by Baby Librarians, New Librarian Confronts Being Typecast Based on How Old She Appears to Be. news.bbc.co.uk/2/high/business/3115551.stm, IBM guilty of age discrimination, the company's U.S. pension scheme unfairly favored younger employees, a judge finds in a ruling that could affect millions of workers. feeds.career.journal.com/wsj/career_journal/tilde 3/12022007528-workfamily.html, when company layoffs appear to indicate age discrimination. agepride.org, Older Americans Consumer Mental Health Alliance. agerights.com/article/termination.html, Tennessee employment lawyer. freeisa.com. aarp.org/money/careers/job loss/article/a2004-04-28-age discrimination.html. gff.com/business/discrimination.htm. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/age_discrimination_in_employment_act. caada.net, Campaign Against Age Discrimination in Employment. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. 1801 LST. NW. Washington, D.C. 20507. 800-669-3362. 800-669-4000. 800-800-3302 TTY. 202-663-4264. EEOC.gov. Federal laws, executive orders, and selected federal grant programs bar discrimination in employment based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age and handicap. Information on how to file a charge of discrimination is available from U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission offices around the country. Call for more information about any federal employment laws. American Association of Retired Persons, AARP. 601 EST. NW. Washington, D.C. 20049. 800-456-2277. 800-424-2277. 202-434-2277. AARP.org. American Civil Liberties in the Workplace. 212-944-9800. ACLU.org. National Association of Working Women. 1430 W. Peachtree St. Number 610. Atlanta, Georgia 30309. 404-876-1604. Fax, 404-876-1649. 800-522-0925. Hotline 925@igc.org. 925.org. Generally an advocacy group for women but helps men too in such work areas as sexual harassment, maternity leave or any job problems in general. Annual membership fee entitles you to their database of information. U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. 624 9th Street. NW. Washington, D.C. 20425. 202-376-8128. Fax, 202-376-7597. usccr.gov. Work bullying websites. Bullybusters.org, Campaign Against Workplace Bullying, USA. Kickbully.com, kickbully.com, a practical guide to fighting back against workplace bullying. ncpamd.com/bullying-through-life-cycle, bullying throughout the life cycle, understanding the types of bullying at different stages of life. news.bbc.co.uk/1/hi/health/1231636.stm, BBC News. 1 in 6 nurses bullied. 1 in 6 nurses claim to have been bullied by other members of staff, according to a Royal College of Nursing survey. WorkDoctor.com, The Work Doctor, anti-bullying services for workplace health. Workplacebullying.co.uk, workplace bullying, stress, Employment Law NU, offers advice and resources on workplace bullying, harassment, employment law and industrial stress. Diversity websites. Consilium-Vyas.com, Consilium Vyas Diversity Consultancy and Training, provides help with equality and diversity issues in employment, including legal responsibilities and liabilities for employers. davewheeler952.wix.com/Vanessa-Sheridan, Vanessa Sheridan, specializing in transgender in the workplace issues. Sheridan's business services include corporate consulting, keynote speaking, and awareness training. DiversityActions.com, managing and valuing diversity in the workplace. Valuing, managing and understanding diversity can be critical to the success of an organization and toward the success of all people who work for an organization. DiversityInc.com, DiversityInc.com, an online magazine that provides news, resources, and commentary on the role of diversity in strengthening the corporate bottom line. DiversityWorld.com, Diversity World, consulting and training firm that focuses on workforce diversity, enriching workforces, and reducing barriers to employment. DeLevine-Association.com. Mtrain.com, Mtrain, HR and legal compliance e-learning, provides customized online courses training managers and employees in workplace issues including harassment, diversity, and discrimination. equalityanddiversity.co.uk, Equality and Diversity UK Ltd, promoting diversity and community cohesion in education, training, and employment for UK employers and government agencies. European-diversity.com, European Diversity, diversity information for companies, non-profit organizations, and individuals. ExecutiveDiversity.com, Executive Diversity Services, provides organizational development training programs and consulting services in cultural diversity training, conflict management, team building, customer service training and organizational change management. HeimGroup.com, Heim Group, management consulting firm specializing in gender diversity training, gender communication, workforce diversity, research on women and gender and related issues. IEGD.org, European Institute for Managing Diversity, international network of local organizations specialized in the management of diversity, giving support and service to international companies and institutions operating in Europe. PrismDiversity.com, Prism International Incorporated, a provider of consulting services and training programs and products for diversity management, harassment/discrimination prevention and cross-cultural effectiveness. WorkplaceDiversity.com, WorkplaceDiversity.com, diversity and career information from over 2,500 sources. Employment for the disabled websites. AbilityJobs.com, AbilityJobs, matches qualified job seekers with disabilities to companies looking to employ staff. Apps.org, Association for Persons in Supported Employment, APPS, a membership organization formed to improve and expand integrated employment opportunities, services, and outcomes for persons experiencing disabilities. ArcSalem.com, the Arc of Salem County, New Jersey-based organization supporting adults with developmental disabilities needing employment placement. Base-UK.org, Association for Supported Employment, AFSE, an association of 230 agencies establishing collective action on national issues regarding supported employment. BusinessDisabilityForum.org.uk, Employers' Disability Forum, providing information, news, and views concerning disabled employment in the UK along with reasons for businesses to employ a disabled person. CommunityWorkforceSolutions.com, Community Workforce Solutions, dedicated to improving the lives of disabled people and helping them to achieve their employment and community integration goals. DisabledBusiness.org, Disabled Businesspersons Association, helps disabled entrepreneurs and professionals maximize their potential in the business world, encourages the participation and enhances the performance of the disabled in the workforce. DOL.gov/ODP, Office of Disability Employment Policy, ODEP, U.S. EnableAmerica.org, Enable America, founded to assist with employment opportunities for people with disabilities throughout America. GettingHired.com, Getting Hired, assisting with employment training to offer opportunities for people with disabilities. Gladnet.org, Gladnet Association, the network brings together research centers, universities, enterprises, government departments, trade unions, and organizations representing disabled persons, all committed to the common goal of advancing competitive employment and training opportunities for persons with disabilities. Goodwill.org, Goodwill Industries International, helps people with barriers to employment learn the skills to find competitive employment. HigherPotential.com, Higher Potential, Inc. Providing accessibility, compliance, and employment services for companies in the United States. Interwork.com.au, Interwork Ltd, specializes in providing employment opportunities for people with a disability. JobConnection.org, Job Connection, supported, nonprofit employment agency that places people with disabilities into employment, offers resources in job training and self-sufficiency. ncb.intnet.mu/dpb.htm, Training and Employment of Disabled Persons Board, information on training, employment, employers, and career guidance. ncpedp.org, National Center for Promotion of Employment for Disabled People, NCP, a nonprofit voluntary organization working as an interface between government, industry, international agencies, and the voluntary sector towards the promotion of better employment opportunities for disabled people. NIDMAR.ca, National Institute of Disability Management and Research, committed to reducing the human, social, and economic cost of disability to workers, employers and society through education, training, and research. Recruit-ability.com, Recruitability, an international cross-disability consumer job matching service. Remploy.co.uk, Remploy Ltd, expands the opportunities for disabled people in sustainable work both within Remploy and externally. v21.org.uk, Vision 21, vocational training geared toward those with learning needs in Cardiff, Wales. vcu.edu/rrdcweb/witn/product.htm, Work Incentives Transition Network, free online course and fact sheets on using SSI work incentives to promote successful outcomes for transition-aged youth. viscardycenter.org/services/NBDC, National Business and Disability Council, NBDC, provides corporations with a full range of services to assist them in successfully integrating people with disabilities into the workplace. WallingInc.com, Service Enhancement Associates, offers training and technical assistance throughout the U.S. on issues and services related to the employment of persons with disabilities. WorkSupport.com, information, resources, and research regarding the employment of people with disabilities. Training websites. Research.com, Rosenthal Associates, U.S. company specializing in diversity recruitment, traditional search, and competitor research. World-Trust.org, World Trust, video which presents women's issues via dialogue on oppression and race. Chapter 5. A Women's Website Guide. Major women's websites. These websites cover everything from health to love to work to education. Books about women are at hashtag 242.6 or BV4527, Christian Women, hashtag 301.4, hashtag 305.3042 and HQ1101 HQ2030 at the library. There may be a few books for teen girls at hashtag 305.23. For women's inspiration, try hashtag 305.4, hashtag 646.700 and HQ777 at the library. For literary books about women, try hashtag 809.892 or PN4390 at the library. There are many biographies of powerful, independent women at hashtag 920-929 or CT120. Womensforum.com. UN.org/WomenWatch. WAMC.org. WomenForWomen.org. WomensForum.com. PhenomenalWomen.com. girl-directory.com, euronet.nl/womlist/womlist.html, women's organizations. library.wisc.edu/libraries/women's studies. library.wisc.edu/libraries/women's studies/orgs.htm. womans-connection.com. wendy.com/women/quotations.html. ncrw.org, National Council for Research on Women. bellaonline.com. bellaonline.com/miscellaneous/bookclub.asp. dmoz-odp.org/society/people/women/desk.html. yahoo.com/health/women_s_health. yahoo.com/social_science/women_s_studies. yahoo.com/society_and_culture/gender/women. Women's issues. Dead website, trythoughtco.com, verywell.com, thebalance.com. womanlinks.com. womenslinks.com. wypowers.com, women's yellow pages. library.wisc.edu/libraries/women's studies/mags.htm, women's magazines. Women websites 1. brainpickings.org. Feelin' Fit. feelinfit.com. Menopause symptoms. menopause-symptom-relief.com. Beauty Eyes. Every Woman. beautyis.com. Center for Young Women's Health. youngwomenshealth.org. drn4u.com. Menopause, hysterectomy, and HRT. menopause-hysterectomy.com. Exploring Women's Health. estronaut.com. menopause-symptom-relief.com. Natural remedies for menopause. menopauserx.com. healthywomen.org. Home birth, midwife, doula. Catalog. attachmentscatalog.com. Menopause health resources. transitionsforhealth.com. Information and inspiration. women.com. Women heal themselves. womantowomen.com. Women's Health Hotline homepage. libov.com. Women's Journey of Joy. journeyofjoy.com. obgyn.net, the universe of women's health. wonderfulwords.com. 2ndchanceforwomen.com. 3rdwwwave.com, the third WW Wave, subtitled Feminism for the New Millennium. This site reflects the unique view of women's issues and feminism in the generation of women who came of age in the 80s. 4women.org. 4women.gov, health info. 4women.org. 4workingmothers.com. a1-termpaper.com/wom-gen.shtml. aauw.org, American Association of University Women. aauw.org, University Women. abanet.org/family/family law/tables.html, Family Law in the 50 States, tables from the American Bar Association's website offering a quick view of various aspects of family law in the 50 states of the U.S. abo.peoples.org/program/iwa.html. Indigenous Women of the Americas, building links between indigenous women of Central and South America and North America. About-face.org, About Face, site dedicated to combating negative and distorted images of women. abwa.org, ABWA, American Business Women's Association. abwa.org. academicinfo.net/women.html, Academic Info, Women's Studies, a directory of internet resources tailored to the university community. acscollegeforsisters.org. actiu.org, a commitment to training and employment for women, a women's training community. acwoman.com, Atlantic County Woman. columbia.edu/cu/lweb/eguide/womenstudies/socsci.html ada-online.org/index.html, ada, fom etit, vrouwen nit, a bilingual French/Flemish-Belgian site that focuses on the underrepresentation of women in information technology and efforts to change the situation. adobe.com/products/acrobat/reads-tep2.html, Adobe Acrobat Reader. advancingwomen.com. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women, site features women-oriented news and information about workplace strategies, career advancement. advancingwomen.com, Advancing Women. advancingwomen.com/all/all.html, Advancing Women in Leadership. advancingwomen.com/all/all.html, Advancing Women in Leadership, an online professional, refereed journal for women in leadership. adventurewomen.com. advocaki-net.com/on03000.htm, Women, on the Net, Advocacy Network provides an enormous collection of women-related links. af.org.pk/index.php, ORID Publication and Information Service Foundation. The ORID website describes this Pakistani organization, established in 1986, as a civil society organization committed to work for women's empowerment. afewgoodwomen.com, consulting firm which does technology in education. afhm.org, Action de Femmes Handicap Montreal. africapolicy.org/action/women.htm, Africa Policy Information Center, African Women's Rights. afterellen.com. ag.org/womanstouch, Christian. agelessmagazine.com, Senior Women. agirlsworld.com. ahp.ccsf.edu, AIDS Health Project, Women's Services. aiwusa.org, Association of Iranian Women USA. alianet.org/mujeres/index.phtml.es, Alay Mujeres. This Spanish-language site of the Latin American Information Agency provides news about women in Latin America, with an emphasis on social activism. alice.org, Alice, learn to program interactive 3D graphics. Alice is designed to make computer programming more accessible and appealing and to provide the best possible first exposure to programming for students ranging from middle schoolers to college students. alicemagazine.com. allafrica.com/women, All Africa, Women, All Africa. allegra.de. alligatorqueen.com. alloy.com, Teen Girl. allthatwomenwant.com. allwomenstock.com. almazy.com/nobel/women.html, Women Nobel Prize Laureates. amazing.com/david/women.html. america.net/com/prestige/planet. americangirl.com. amherst.edu. amnestyusa.org/violence-page.do?id=$10111012, Amnesty International USA, Violence Against Women. amwa-doc.org, American Medical Women's Association. anorora.co.uk, quarterly internet magazine for disabled women. angelfire.com/ga/Ian Tricks, The Diva Experience. AngryLittleAsianGirl.com. AniandCamioFHeroin.com. AnitaBorg.org, Anita Borg Institute, California-based organization whose mission is to increase the impact of women on technology and to increase the positive impact of technology on women's lives. auzoc.org/members/DNStuff/May2004feminism_and_femininity.htm, Feminism and Femininity, a seminar by Diane Frank. apc.org, Association for Progressive Communications Women's Networking Support Program, UK. APC advocates for and facilitates the use of information and communications technologies, ICTs, by civil society. up.co New York/UPC, Asian Women. artwomen.org, artwomen.org, a site for feminists interested in art, visual culture, art history, criticism, and art making. asa.ugl.lib.umich.edu/chdocs/womenpolicy/feminist.html asa.ugl.lib.umich.edu/chdocs/womenpolicy/womenlawpolicy.html, Women's Law. asa.ugl.lib.umich.edu/chdocs/women's health. asa.ugl.umich.edu/chdocs/womenpolicy/womenlawpolicy.html, asiatica.org/jsaws/index.php, Journal of South Asia Women's Studies, current and back issues containing articles about women's issues in South Asia. AskMen.com. Association of Women's Fitness.org. asu.edu/wwol. Women on the Internet. Aviva.org. Aviva.org, Internet magazine and directory operated by International Group of Feminists based in London. Offers monthly listings of women's groups and events worldwide. awk-hq.org, Association for Women in Computing. awid.org, Association for Women's Rights in Development. awis.org, Women in Science. awomenshealingjourney.com/sharing our stories. sfwmc.org, Women's Motorcycle Contingent. arc.org, Asian Women. azadizan.com, Organization for Women's Liberation. Women websites too. b2bunite.com, Business. babe.hr/eng, Be Active, Be Emancipated Women's Human Rights Group Croatia. babylop.com/bab/afich_ring.php 3?ring=303, Babe Loop, Femme Cyber Solidaires, a Canadian francophone women's web ring that includes a number of interesting sites. babson.edu/academics/centers/cwl/pages/home.aspx. babycenter.com. badgirls.org. badgirlsclubonoxygen.com. badgirlsonline.co.uk. badgirlsworld.com, Sisterhood of Bad Girls. badgirlsworld.com, The Bad Girls Guides. badyens.com, Bad Yens, an Iranian feminist newsletter, a feminist online magazine mainly addressing readers outside Iran. bailiwick.lib.uiowa.edu/wstudies/index.html, Women's Studies Resources.